There's the miss. There's the putback. 131. Timeout Philly. 3.5 to go. Double big for life.
That's how the Rockets got to overtime and eventually took down the bum Philadelphia 76ers 144 to 137 in overtime last night. The Rockets were down 6 with 30 seconds to play in the fourth. They were down 25 at one point in the third. But that Şengün tip-in that you just heard from Craig Ackerman on the Space City Home Network call off of an intentionally missed free throw by Jabari Smith Jr. down 2 was pretty awesome. You don't see that executed that well. And I guess that's the key if you are a guy trying to miss a free throw so that you can give your team down 2 a chance with only a couple of seconds left. You got to arc it and you got to hit off the back right or back left of the iron. Not easy to do. I know that basketball players shoot free throws all the time. So imagine you practice free throws. How often are you practicing missing the free throw?
You're practicing making them. I was thinking the intentional miss putback, that has to be like the onside kick of
100%. Great comparison.
Like the old school onside kick when people actually got them like whatever 15% of the time, where it's like it's unlikely, it's obviously a last ditch effort, but you can still do it. Like it still happens a couple times a season where a team needs the tip in and they get it. Where the onside kick, I mean, now they've just like totally like it's like a 2% thing.
It's done.
But before, when you could really give people CTE doing an onside kick, it was like 15-20%.
Back when men were men.
Exactly.
I've seen so many attempts at doing the missed free throw.
And they're terrible.
Get the rebound. Right. They're always line drives off the front rim. They miss the backboard.
I was going to say they miss everything.
Rim altogether as a violation. So it's impressive to see that they were able to pull that off last night in a game where the Rockets were anything but efficient. I mean, that's the best thing that they did all game long. And they came back from down 25. And they won in overtime. A win's a win. Blah, 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 blah. Their winning streak continues. I get it. But this was a very unsatisfying win for a lot of different reasons. I would say specifically, the guys played like dummies down the stretch in the fourth. You're going to get ejected and a technical foul after getting ejected from the game for being fouled out, for fouling out. That's what Tari Eason did. Dumb. Making it harder for your team to potentially come back. Fred VanVleet takes a three-point shot, clearly fouled. No call by the refs. Sixers get the ball because it didn't even make it to the hoop. In transition very quickly. There's 3 Sixers underneath the basket. And Fred VanVleet tackles him as if he's a football player trying to track somebody down at the 1-yard line. It was a flagrant one. I think it should have been a flagrant too. I think it was clearly done out of control with intent in a temper tantrum manner. He's lucky he only got a 1. He did
no, he got a 2.
Okay, that's what I thought. Someone texted in like he got a 1. I was like, okay.
No, he got kicked out.
Yeah, he should have been kicked out. That was horrible. That was horrible. As someone who's done that before in an intramural game, that's horrible. Don't do that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was as dangerous. I think Ackerman, by the way, we played the call coming in. He's awesome for a game that is like absolutely like just bonkers off the rails.
Because he's high energy. Yeah, I agree with that.
And he pointed out on the Fred VanVleet thing that or maybe it was Hans, that he got him really before he jumped in the air. So that they thought was going to help his case avoid getting kicked out, where, it wasn't a super dangerous, like in the air, knocking a guy out of the air type thing. Obviously still a lot of contact. I think it should have just been a 1, or if not a common. I get why it can't be a common foul, but I think it honestly kind of should just be a common foul.
Yeah.
But flagrant 1 and just keep it moving. It being a 2 surprised me. And that was a little bit of like I thought that people were gonna, and I was right. People were gonna complain about the refs after the Rockets lost. The only problem is the Rockets didn't lose. But I was like, oh my god, we're gonna have to talk about this for
Right.
15 minutes.
So I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled about that. From the 8-3-2, sometimes playing a group with nothing to lose is difficult. Grimes was unbelievable. He has been good for a while. Shout out
Yeah,
to our Coug legend,
and
Quentin
Grimes was insane. I don't think we talked about it enough. Grimes was he might have been the best. I mean, he definitely was. What am I talking about? He was the best basketball player on the court last night, and it's like not even close.
Mhm.
Yeah. Second worst trade for Nico Harrison this year, trading away Quentin Grimes, I'd say, for a guy who's hurt. That wasn't great from the Mavericks. Still only the second worst trade.
He looks incredible over the last couple of weeks too. I thought, like, first I looked at the numbers and I thought to myself, wait a second, Quentin Grimes is scoring 46 points in this game, and then took a look over what he's done over the last couple of weeks.
He went 40 a couple nights ago.
Yeah. From the 8-3-2, you always over exaggerate, Paul. You're taught to foul hard so that the player don't make the shot. Grow some balls. Don't like your show. Okay, dumbass. We're gonna treat the witnesses hostile here. Do you think Fred VanVleet was taught to go track somebody down because a foul call didn't go his way and barrel into him like it's effing hockey? Do you really think that was the case? Do you think he was taught to do that? How stupid are you? Seriously, how stupid are you? You think he was taught to do that? In football, you're taught to do that. In hockey, you're taught to do that. In basketball, you're taught to do that. He had no chance. There were 3 players underneath the basket. He barrels into the back of them. And guess what? He gets a flagrant. You effing idiot. Can we ban texters? Can we ban texters? We can ban Twitchers.
I don't know if we can.
No, there's some people, and like truly the level of stupid, it's impressive with this one. You're taught to do that. You're taught to do anything but that. You're losing, and there's a minute left in the game. Why would you do that? Let the guy take the shot, get the ball back, get back up there. What did you think was going to happen there? You're taught to do that. The game was close. And by the way, you still got it to overtime. But you're taught to flagrant foul somebody because a call didn't go your way. Me, I'm Fred VanVleet. I'm a veteran. I should know better. Like, what are you talking about? Jesus. Some people, so dumb. You're not taught to tackle somebody because you didn't get a call your way. What are you talking about?
I'm looking at it again. Yeah, I mean that's definitely not targeting. I think he's good in college football there. Yeah, I mean this was bad. Again, I don't think it was flagrant 2 worthy, although for how he I guess reacted to the what's it called? To the non-call on the play literally right before, like 2 seconds beforehand, and then to not get up and then be late. And again, there's 3 76ers down the court before anyone from the Rockets get down the court. That's where I'm good, just being like, get out of here, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I just view that as a benching. Like, he got benched for how awful that 5-second sequence was.
It was a terrible 5-second sequence. And look, that happens to a lot of players over the course of the game. But he was taught to do that. How stupid are you? This is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. You're taught to do that.
Yeah.
Because losing a game to the Sixers by only a few points, you have fought your way back into this game, and you ultimately did win it. But no thanks to you, but you're taught to do that.
Yeah, if he would have like wrapped up, that would have been.
Yes. You know what you're taught to do? You're taught to wrap up.
Yeah.
You're taught to wrap up.
So he doesn't get the ball over his shoulders. That's what we were taught.
You're taught to wrap up. Right. You're taught to wrap up in a lot of different things. But in that spot right there, you're taught to wrap up. From the 713, and we'll move on from here because I don't want to focus too much on a dumb text. This was a dumb play by Fred VanVleet. It was dumb by Tari Eason to get ejected, and they're lucky to win that game. The Sixers stink. I think they're lucky to win it. But it was a fun win at the same time. And I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel about it because it was ultimately fun, and they did do some pretty cool stuff down the stretch. Jabari Smith Jr., those are the kind of nights that you're looking for from him. Jalen Green on a night where he's awful and inefficient, he did all the other things that you're looking for from him.
I was going to say, Jalen Green had kind of the night that we're talking about where most of the time you can just look at the 3-point column of his how he shot from 3 and just be like, this was either a really good Jalen Green game or a really bad one. I think this is a case where the 3-point column actually understand. I thought he was actually really good last night, doing all the other stuff, doing all the kind of star stuff they need to do
Yeah.
when your shot isn't falling. I mean, really the 3 best guys are all the guys that kind of get dogged the most. It was Jabari, and it was Jalen, and it was Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks was the only guy. Like, there's a point where he made like back-to-back threes, and both times they do the little ISO cam of the guy who made the shot, like getting back on defense, and he was just like MFing himself under his breath because they're down 20.
He was taught to not do that.
He was taught to not do that. Yeah.
It's part of being taught things. You know, it's important. Classes, learning lessons, and being taught to do that. But today I learned Fred VanVleet was taught to just barrel into somebody like a bull in a china shop because he was pissed off they didn't get a foul call his way. Rockets are lucky to have won last night, but hey, the winning streak continues. 713-780-3776 to call in, to text in. On YouTube at ESPN Houston, on Twitch at ESPN 975. It is the most interactive sports talk show in Houston.
Interact with what guys were taught to do and to not do.
Yeah,
that's a good way to get interaction.
Well, also text in something like that where
you might not like the interaction you get, but you will get interacted with.
If you texted something where you say some little mini thing that bothers me, but
Yeah.
it's usually like that. Like, you could call me names and stuff, and I'm not really gonna care. But it's when you bring in, like, you always over exaggerate. Oh, I do. That's what sports talk radio does. But like at the end, you're saying don't like your show. Well, then why are you texting in every day? You know, you're always here. Like, I know I've seen this texter a lot. I think this texter said, I'm going to another station. Oh, you are? You'll be back because my show's better than the other stations. It is. Everyone knows this, except for the stations themselves, except for those stations. But it's fine. I get to actually say whatever I want here, as opposed to being like hamstrung by the ball and like the little ball in your mouth thing, like the gimp thing.
Yeah.
That I would have to do if I were at the Rockets and Astros flagship. My God, they're censored like crazy.
Yeah.
And
you
then,
probably couldn't have done the segment you just did.
No, probably couldn't.
Probably the Fred VanVleet conversation would have gone differently.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then at the Texans flagship.
Too much, not enough Texans in that segment.
This would be
where was the Texans?
We have to reset the Stingley
Could
contract from 2 days ago.
Could Fred VanVleet play for the Texans? 713-780-3776.
Good closing speed.
That's how you call in. That's how you text in.
Got beat deep as a safety. That's not good.